Yo, welcome back into another episode of Pat's Rap Podcast. I'm your host, Beej, Beej.com, Babe Tobin, whatever you want to call me. I'm recording this on Sunday night after watching that semi-entertaining game that we just played against the Buffalo Bills, where the Pats lost 24 to 21. Um, Today I got on this hoodie that I got back in 2019 in Korea. Been rocking it for a while. It's pretty beat up, but that's what I'm rocking today to represent my team. So just want to start off and say, what a start to the game, right? They went up 14 to 0 against the superhuman Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. I know the Buffalo Bills are missing a ton of players on defense, so that might be why we were able to go up 14-0, but what a start. I mean, ABP's initial script was amazing. We got helped by a PI call earlier in the game, but Drake May looked smooth. He looked efficient. The offense looked smooth. Running game was getting going. Everything was happening. It was perfect. I'm not mad at the start at all. That is exactly how you want to start a game. Then it took a turn for the worse in the second half. And the way that the team kind of fell apart in the second half is what happens to bad teams. Unfortunately, the New England Patriots are a bad team in 2024. And that's the kind of things that's going to happen. They start fast and they have you thinking, oh, we got this. We might blow them out. Whoa. No. The way that they played in the first half was a surprise. The way that they played in the second half is how they've been playing all year. That was more like who they are. And Josh Allen didn't look superhuman. He was very normal. He got hurt, had a couple of turnovers, and that's why the game was even close. Had Josh Allen been himself, they probably would have blew us out. So we had a lot of things going our way, and we still couldn't get a dub against a team who we were 14-point underdogs against anyway. And I'm going to look up some of Drake May's numbers here. And again, this is another game where Drake May wasn't spectacular. He was good. I said last episode we wanted to see spectacular. And to go out there and go up 14-0 in the first half again, or in the first quarter against the Bills, that's amazing, but you got to finish that game out. So we had Drake May. He was 22 of 36, 261 yards, two TDs, and a pick. The first pick in a couple weeks that actually was his fault. I will say he underthrew the ball. He only got sacked twice and was averaging 11.9 yards per attempt. So that's pretty good, but again, not spectacular. Where's the 300 plus, three, four TDs, a rushing TD? That's the kind of game that the Patriots need from Drake May in order to win these kind of games. Um, Ramondre Stevenson had 12 attempts for 60 yards and a touchdown. Sounds like a solid game, right? However, he fumbled at a crucial moment, as usual. It's been a couple weeks, but time year after year, we keep having to deal with a Ramondre Stevenson fumble. And when they did the backwards pass in the third quarter, that's a catchable ball. But I will say, and this is coaching, why are we throwing that ball to Ramondre Stevenson and not Antonio Gibson, who's our receiving back? That's the question that I would have for AVP. Do I like the play call? Absolutely not. A backwards pass when you're backed up on your own like 8 yard line, not smart. Running backs don't they play running back for a reason. They don't play receiver. So hate the play call, but the play call could have been better if we threw it to our receiving back, Antonio Gibson, and not Ramondre Stevenson, whose hands are questionable at best and clearly has a fumbling problem. Um, our top receiver today was Kayshawn Boutte, 7 targets, 5 receptions, 95 yards, and a beautiful fade route touchdown. Him and Drake May just have chemistry on those fade routes. As soon as Drake May sees man coverage, no safety on that side, he's throwing it up there, and Kayshawn Boutte keeps coming down with it. So I'm appreciative of Kayshawn Boutte. Do I want Kayshawn Boutte to be our number one receiver moving forward? Absolutely not. But appreciative of his efforts and his ability to run those go routes and catch those passes. I mean, he should catch them all. That was a absolute perfect dime, dropped it in a bucket by Drake May. I think Stephen A. Smith used to call, or not Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp used to call them long handoffs, where Drake May could have ran down the field and just gave it to him. That's how good the pass was. So appreciative of him. He's the only receiver we got anything from. I mean, Austin Hooper and Hunter Henry were our next leading receivers. We had Demario Douglas who dropped a touchdown. Low throw, but you got to haul that in. Kendrick Bourne gave you 18 yards. Javon Baker got a target, but nothing. And Jalen Polk is still missing. I don't know if we should be worried because I can't find him. Where is he? Do we need to put out an APB or something? Because this kid is missing. Put him on a milk carton. I'm shocked when I see his number one jersey on the field because he does nothing. How are you a second round pick and you got no targets? It makes no sense. His inability to get open is insane to me because you were getting all this separation. You were catching passes at the catch point through contact, all of these things in the preseason, and it's all gone. You can't even get scheme touches. I don't know what happened, but if this is another first or second round bust on a receiver by the New England Patriots, even with this new regime, they have to fire the whole scouting department because they obviously cannot scout receivers to save their life. Like it makes absolutely no sense. Um, let's get into the defense. I honestly think that this was the first game that the defense played well against a great quarterback. Now, Josh Allen didn't play like himself, but I want to credit the defense with that because they were mixing it up in the on their blitzes, their coverages. I love having Marte Mapu back in there as a safety. Not that there's anything wrong with Jabril Peppers. Jabril Peppers is one of my favorite players on the team, but Marte Mapu is this hybrid athlete who can cover and play the run very well. And he needs to be a bigger part of the defense. Honestly, I would prefer to have him in the game rather than Duggar or turn Duggar into a glorified linebacker at this point because he can't cover anything. He can't cover his face with both of his hands. So I loved having Marte Mapu, and he's been a healthy scratch the last couple of games. He got in today, immediately caught a pick. Now his decision to try to run it out of the end zone, it's terrible. It's young player trying to make a play, but you have to catch that and take a knee there so that you don't, mess up the field position. But overall, I think outside of, you know, I feel like Dietrich Wise ran past Josh Allen a lot, allowing Josh Allen to step up in the pocket and find those running lanes or extend plays. We need to teach more discipline on containing the quarterback so that he can step up and find those lanes. There was a lot of sacks I felt like that were left on the table just because they couldn't get to him. They had ran past him, and he's a super athlete, so he's going to take advantage of all of those things. But other than that, I think the defense plays spinning. I think Jonathan Jones' best game of the year. Christian Gonzalez, I mean, you didn't see much from him, but that's how it goes when you're number one corner. And Alex Austin, he had a pass breakup, pretty good game. So the defensive backs had one of their better games, and they didn't have Marcus Jones. So I was glad to see that. That was a bright spot in the game. The defense came to play. And I think, maybe DeMarcus Covington heard all the noise like, hey, man, you might be the one to go because his defense is looking horrendous. And he developed a game plan that helped keep them to under the 30 points that the Bills have been scoring all year. So I don't know if that's a credit to DeMarcus Covington. I don't know if that's a credit to Gerard Mayo, maybe getting more involved with the defense and saying, hey, this is what we're doing moving forward. But whoever it was, the defense came to play. Players played hard. Players tackled. You know, it was the best I felt like the defense looked all year against a team that is actually good. Um, and into that, I'll get into the coaching. I felt like the coaching today is not what lost the game. Personally, I think that The players lost the game. Stupid mistakes by the players, penalties, missing blocks, fumbles, dropping passes. That's player stuff. That's not coaching. You could say maybe techniques on the offensive line, but the players lost that game, making player mistakes. Drake May interception, Ramondre Stevenson fumble, drop touchdowns by Demario Douglas. That's the players. The coaches developed a plan to win that game. I truly feel that way offensively and defensively. Now, my offensive beef is that when it's 3rd and 2, and the whole world knows that you like to run a very specific G lead run with Ramondre Stevenson right up the gut on those plays, and you do it anyway, and you fail time and time again because you have this false identity crisis that you can run this hard nosed, tough running team, and you keep getting stuffed. I don't understand that by AVP. I know he wants to try to establish it, maybe, and he knows that this year it doesn't matter. He knows that win, lose, or draw, that it didn't matter if we won or lost that game. But that play doesn't work, man. Do a pitch, something. I know they tried the jet sweep with Kendrick Bourne. I don't think Kendrick Bourne is the jet sweep guy. I would probably get Javon Baker or Demario Douglas to do that because I don't think Kendrick Bourne is shifty enough to run the jet sweep or even fast enough for that matter. But defensively, I have no beef with the game plan at all. I want to go back and really, if I can get the all 22, watch the film and kind of see what they were running. But defensively, I had no beef, and offensively, I thought the game plan was well. Easy throws for Drake May to the tight ends as usual. That's just the way that AVP likes to draw it up, and I don't have an issue with it. You draw up the deep shot to Boudet, and it works. And the only thing I have beef with is just the telegraphed runs that don't work. Let's just not do it. And late in the game, gotta have it situations. 2 minutes left, 3 minutes left, and you're running the ball. Why are we running the ball? Let Drake May cook. I know we ended up scoring on that drive, but there's so much time coming off the clock for a 2 yard run. Let Drake May throw the ball, or if it's not there, he can scramble for more than those 2 yards. And to that point, I guess they heard all the chatter. I think I talked about it on the last episode. If not, everybody else in Pats Nation talked about designed QB runs. And I think they overdid it personally. I mean, it worked, but the most memorable one was the fourth down read option. He got about 13 yards. That's what we want to see. That's the design. Like, it doesn't have to be a QB draw or anything like that. But if it's a short yardage situation, give him the opportunity to hand it off or tuck it and go. You know what I mean? And they did that a couple of times, especially that late read option on 4th and 2 where he got the 13 yards. Perfect play call. And I think they should call that more often. And I think, like I said, they heard the chatter. So I think moving forward, they're probably going to continue to call it just to say, like, okay, guys, here, we called it and it worked. Woohoo, you guys got what you wanted. We still lost. But good to see that they had that in their tool bag. I feel like I seen a little bit more communication on the sideline from Gerard Mayo. Um, excuse me, last week when I went to the game, I felt like I just watched him walk up and down the sideline. But some of the sideline shots from the broadcast today, you're like he was more engaged. He was talking to Drake May. He was talking to the defense. He was talking to AVP. And I think that they're hearing the noise and they're saying, okay, either he's saying, I got to put a better product out there for TV, or he's saying, look, obviously I can't be the CEO, let my coordinators handle it the way that I thought I could be, and I need to get more involved. And if that was what the shift was this week, it worked. That product that they put on the field this week looked 10 times better than what I saw last week in Arizona. Arizona just lost to the Panthers, I believe, and they beat us by 15 plus points. So I'm glad that if this is the product that they can give us for the final 2 games, then I can watch that. I don't care if we lose or win. Preferably we lose for better draft stock, but if that's the product that they're gonna put out, then I can be okay with that. I can feel better as a fan going into the offseason saying, okay, that is what it's supposed to look like and what it can look like. And if you add the necessary pieces in the draft or in the offseason, then it's going to look like that times whatever because you have more talent. And that's all we wanted to see going into the season is can a team get better over time? And is Drake May a guy? So far, we know Drake May is a guy, a little bit of a turnover machine, but that was expected. He's still a rookie. But if this is the team who they showed to be today, who they can be moving forward without the mistakes, the costly mistakes, the turnovers, and the penalties, then we back, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. You got a guy at quarterback, you put some talent around him, and you eliminate the mistakes. You're a contender. And right now, that's what separates the contenders in the league from the Patriots is that they have a guy, but they don't have any talent around them, and they make countless mistakes, whether it be turnovers or penalties or dumb play calling. Mistakes kill them, and when you're a bad team, you can't overcome mistakes. I know Gerard Mayo has said it time and time again, and I agree. When you're a bad team, you cannot overcome mistakes. It just doesn't work that way. Um, so that was my overall take on the game. Uh, can't forget Hook 'em horns. I watched college football this weekend, the first round of the college football playoffs. I don't really have any gripes with the games all being blowouts. I mean, it's kind of expected. I think it's going to cause for the committee to change the the way the games are lined up. Maybe winning your conference championship's not going to mean as much next year. I think it should mean something because what else are you playing for? But those all those games in the first round being blowouts, might have them second guessing that. I think this next slate of games should be a lot more competitive. I'm a UT fan. Hook 'em. I think we're gonna beat the brakes off of Arizona State, and just get as long as we don't look for it and we play them seriously. I think we should you know beat them fairly easily and have our sights set on either Oregon or Ohio State. Um, and yeah, I think that the Longhorns have a pretty decent path to the chip, and I could easily see it being Texas and Georgia in the championship, round three. Hopefully Sark can draw something up to win this time because Georgia's the only team that's beat us the past two times. So short episode tonight. Traveling for Christmas tomorrow, so I'm gonna wrap this up. As you can see, I kind of changed up uh, the background a little bit. I got Jujutsu Kaisen poster back there. Hunter x Hunter poster back there. A couple of my favorite mangas. Uh, some little toys. Tried to make it a little bit more like me. I could probably put some more stuff on the wall. Probably some more Patriots based things, seeing as how there's a Patriots based podcast. But yeah, so your New England Patriots lose 24-21 to the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen continues his MVP campaign. I personally think that it should be Lamar Jackson. I don't think anybody's playing better ball than Lamar Jackson, but it's hard to give a guy the third MVP without him winning any championships. So I think they're going to give it to Josh Allen. But yeah, that's all I got for tonight. Hey, signing off. It's your boy Beej, Beej.com, Babe Tovin, whatever you want to call me. And this is the Pats Rap Podcast. Till next time.